and scope for infringing the individual preferences will be very, very limited. And finally, the customer experiences will offer great learning for the organizations. Those who are able to adapt and innovate to cater to the satisfaction of customer and the customer experiences, only they will have success in their path. Rest will be history. So these are some of the contours that are going to unfold in the times ahead. And really, you take it from me that you are going to be in a very, very exciting times. Now, when I say managing for the future, management has always been about the future. Because you cannot take decisions about the past. Certainly, you can take lessons from the past, but you cannot take decisions from the past. And those nationalities who fail to take lessons from the history, they are bound to repeat the history. Therefore, I am not saying that history is not significant for the managers of tomorrow. History will be a very significant component. Nevertheless, the decisions that you will take are much more challenging because the kind of future that you will face is highly uncertain. It is uncertain because of several factors. In our times, the options were limited. For example, somebody who does intermediate science, the options were limited. Either you go to medical, or you go to engineering, or you pursue your BS. These were the three standard options open. Now you have many creative options. And the youth of today is in fact quite active in pursuing those options. And even if you take a break after +2, it is to be taken as a normal thing now. Whereas in our times, somebody taking a break, it was almost criminal. Even today, if students of your age, you take advice from me, I'll say that don't waste your time, take admission somewhere, and in the meantime prepare for your civil services. Because this is the past data of our mind that is speaking. But for new generation, taking off for 1 or 2 years is quite normal. And there are variety of things to pursue in that period. Therefore, the times are changing, and you are the resource of the future who has to put your print on this kind of time. Now, first I'll talk about the objective that you have to understand. Management begins with objective. For example, after your graduation, if you had targeted for MBA, you will try for XYZ options, and whichever materializes, and if there are multiple options materialize for you, suppose Lucknow University MBA is the best option for you, then you go for it. Alright? So, as a manager, when you say that objective is important for you, what exactly we mean by objective? Objective is not to be defined and written on paper and to be put on the wall. Objective you understand like this, that objective is a hidden bundle of energy. This statement may not be very clear to you. Let me take some example. Say for example, if you go out of this university and think in your mind whether to go to Nishatganj or go to Hyderabad, then you will be thinking and walking like this. Then you decide that okay, I'll go to Hyderabad. Then you have added direction to your ambiguity. Right? So you will move in the direction that you have targeted for. Right? And suppose you sharpen it further, I'll be here only, I'll be here only. So if you sharpen further your objective, that I'll have to go to Charbagh, then your walking speed will be still adjusted to the time available. And if you sharpen it further, that it's 4:30 and I have to catch the train at 6 for Varanasi, then maybe you'll be rushing. And at the platform you are rushing and catching the train, achieving your objective. So the more you give direction and sharpening to your objective, more and more energy is released from within, and you are able to achieve your objective. So for a manager, whether you are aiming for a career in the corporate world, you are aiming for a career in academics, you are aiming for a career in government or any NGO or any field of the society, clarity and sharpness of the objective is very, very important. You will read about the management by objective, which was a concept propounded by a very eminent thinker we call Peter Drucker. But the idea is that objective gives you the energy needed to move ahead. Objective gives you the vision to shape your dream. Therefore, you must devote sufficient time on the objective. And clearer you are from the day one that which sector you have to go, which dream you have to pursue, what aim you put for yourself to be realized in these 2 years, perhaps better it is for you. Because youth has a lot of energy, and objective is the gateway to channelize that energy. That is why we say that the management process begins with objective. Once you have clarity about your objective, then you have to think about the objective of the company or business you are working in. And maybe your teachers will tell you a lot of objectives, say profit maximization, I don't know, profit maximization in the long run, profit optimization. Some of you must be from BBA or BCom. So have you read these objectives? Good. What is the objective of a business? Anybody?
Maximum profit.
Good. Any editing to this?
Maximum optimization of resources.
Good. Very good. Now you see, we as inheritors of a great culture have received a very, very dwarf education. No fault of yours. For example, I entered and I could read the name Chanakya Sabhagar. Who was Chanakya? Advisor to Chandragupta. Very good. Any other answer? Who was Chanakya?
His real name was Vishnu.
Very good. Anything else about Chanakya? Kautilya, another name for him, yes. Author of Arthashastra. Very good. And what is the timeline? Any idea about timeline? Huh? Yeah, Mauryan dynasty, okay. But what is the timeline? 526 BC. Yeah, 4 to 5. 100 before Christ. But what we read in economics, who is the father of economics? Adam Smith. What is the time of Adam Smith?
1800.
Early part of the 18th century. 1776 he gave the treatise Wealth of Nations, isn't it? So 1776 and 4th century BC. That means how many times? Almost 2500 years back. The person gave Arthashastra. But we still read, and many generations read. I also read the same thing. That father of economics is Adam Smith. You also read the same thing. The next generation will also read the same thing. Why it is happening? So let me tell you a real life story. There was a person known as Professor B.H. He is still there. Balbir Singh Sihar. He was gold medalist in economics from Punjab University, Chandigarh. Alright? He was a student of Manmohan Singh, incidentally. So after economics, he went to MIT, United States, to pursue his PhD. He was a bright student. So he did his PhD successfully from there, and he was a student of Paul Samuelson, who was a Nobel laureate in economics. So one day he was just talking to Professor Samuelson, and he said that I have a copy of the great Indian exponent of economics, Kautilya, which is supposed to be 2500 years back from the today. So he listened and he ignored. He had the English translated copy of that, 2 copies. So next day, Dr. Sihar came and handed over 1 copy to Professor Samuelson. So Professor Samuelson said in a lighter vein that, okay, does he talk about opportunity cost? So like many of us, he said that I have just heard that Kautilya was a great economist, but I have not read the book. He was honest in answer. I think most of us in this hall have the same thing. You said we have a great civilization. I ask you 5 things which are great about our civilization. You will be fumbling to name those 5 things. Because we don't apply our mind. तो ये नारा लगाना तो नेताओं का काम है ना. For academicians and future of India students like you, on which really the future of the country lies on your shoulders, you must give a thought to it. That okay, we are a great civilization, what are 5 things that are great in our civilization? So like that, the foreigners are very rational people. So he asked about opportunity cost principle. And then Professor Balbir Singh Sihar was honest. He became professor afterwards in the MIT only. And now he is retired. He's still very much here, alive. So he said honestly that I have not read the book. So I will read and then answer your question. So he read the book, English translation of Kautilya Arthashastra. And Paul Samuelson also read the book. And after a week when both met, then Samuelson said that here is the man who was the real father of economics. He has not only talked about the concept of opportunity cost, but he has talked about so many good things that are critical for the management of a good state. But still we read the same books. Our day starts in economics with Adam Smith. Why is it so? You have a proof. The book is even today available. The first copy that was made available was by the Maharaja of Mysore in his library. Subsequently, it got translated into many languages and it is available to the world. Occasionally, Professor Amar Sen talks about Chanakya in passing reference, but nobody in the world, no economist worth the salt revises the thing that yes, economics started 2005 years back with Kautilya and he should be taken as father of economics. So why it is so? Why it is happening? Because the world moves with power. The day America became a powerful economy, a subject like American literature came into study in English literature. Before that it was not subject. So the day I'm visualizing it, it could be in your times, it could be in the times of next generation to yours. The day India becomes so powerful economically and geopolitically, then perhaps we'll make the world take note of it and revise the things in the history of economics, and rightly so, that started with 2005 years back. And he genuinely be credited. Economics, I have no poems with Adam Smith. Adam Smith is a great professor of economics, very fundamental writings in economics, very basic questions he raised. So, that is fine. But the thing is something which proof is there, but literature is not considering it as the mainstream literature. For that, you future managers have to acquire strength yourself and make the country in the process strong. So that Indian talent, which is today benefiting from the arbitrage of the knowledge coolie, यहाँ से चले जाएंगे यूएई चले जाएंगे तो 20 रुपए का दिरहम हो जाएगा, अमेरिका चले जाएंगे तो 84 रुपए का डॉलर हो जाएगा, सिंगापुर चले जाएंगे कुछ और हो जाएगा, कनाडा चले जाएंगे. दिस इज वेज आर्बिट्राज. एंड ऑफ द डे यू आर ए वेज वर्कर, नॉलेज वेज वर्कर. बट आई एम श्योर द थिंग्स विल चेंज, because today India is almost in oligopolistic situation to supply the knowledge workers to the entire world. और एक खराब एग्जाम्पल देके समझाता हूँ कि पहले क्या हुआ कि जो सक्सेसफुल पॉलिटिशियंस थे उन्होंने थोड़ी बहुत बदमाशों की बैकिंग की पीडब्ल्यूडी डिपार्टमेंट में, इसको भी पढ़ के का दे दो भाई, इंजीनियर को बोल दिया. फिर उन बदमाशों ने इंजीनियर से अलाइनमेंट कर लिया और डायरेक्ट डील करने लगे साहब के काम को. और फिर उसके बाद आज ऐसा दिन है कि बिहार में पुल बनने के पहले ही गिर जा रहा है. हमारे यहाँ भी गिर जा रहा है, ऐसी बात नहीं. So those who will have this say in the system, you have this say, you have the way. So I'm sure that in the future, in the times to come, Indian talent and contribution of the great Indian exponents in different fields, variety of fields, be it mathematics, be it economics, be it classical disciplines like arts, music, etc. It will be acknowledged, and we will also not be ashamed of this. Because you see, let me tell you, lot of wealth means knowledge wealth, has been stolen by the Britishers, French, Germans and United States libraries, and they have made very detailed study of the Indian achievements of the past. But still, they don't acknowledge it. They know more than what I know or you know. And they have proof also. Vedas are more perhaps preserved in Germany rather than in the Indian libraries. Commentaries on Vedas are more preserved in Germany rather than in Indian libraries. Right? So the future is changing, and in the times to come, genuinely you may take pride on being Indian. You may take a genuine pride on your culture, on your achievements of the past. But that does not mean, for not a second I am saying, that you should develop the habit of deriving everything from the past. Supersonic भी past में था, F-35 भी past में था, ये तो hangover. As a rational, critical Indian mind, which always Indian intellect has been, we have to discuss and discuss things again and again, and then come to a definite conclusion. Right? And if you do not know, accept it that yes, I have heard that we have rich heritage, but I do not know. Again, जैसे मान लीजिए हम कहें कि the industry of shipbuilding, who are the leaders in the world of shipbuilding industry? So many names will come, but India will not appear. Whereas if you go to the excavations of the city of Lucknow in Gujarat, you will find that 2005 years hence, that means 4,500 years before in the past, we had a very flourishing shipbuilding industry, large shipbuilding industry, and we had very strong business skills that used to operate across the sea in the international business. They used to trade from many countries, Egypt, Rome, Southeast Asia, then countries in the Gulf. They were all on the trading list. Therefore, as a conscientious student and inheritor of this great culture, you have to aim not only for the knowledge pooling, working for some MNC, but certainly you have to aim higher than that. The answer lies with you, not with me. I can only appeal based on my past experience. Because again, it is a leverage. You see, the projects are billed in dollars and wages are paid in rupees. The ideal thing is, if you go by the dictum of the Karl Marx, then the labor must have a percentage of the project budget. Say suppose you allot X percent, 10% will go to the labor. So it should go to 1 crore rupees that a person draws today in MNC. It's a very good salary by Indian standards. If you convert it into dollars, it comes about $10,000, $1 lakh, little more than 1 lakh, say $1,200,000, which is almost the minimum wage in the United States that any engineer gets. Any engineer worth his salt is getting 10,000 to 12,000 per month, so comes to almost same. So that is why I say that this arbitrage of knowledge pooling is good for us because we have no better options. But that compulsion may not exist with you. You have many choices and you can select your options wisely. Pushing further the agenda of the Indian wisdom, we see at many of the shops the aim of business is written, but that has lost its meaning. It has become a customer. So for example, whenever you buy a good car, new car, say you make swastik on the bonnet. The meaning is missing, the customer is being carried out. So is the case with business also. Let me tell you, you might have noticed written something in many of the businesses, what you call locations, or in their what you call जो उनकी तिजोरी होती है ना बिजनेस वालों की, उसमें कुछ लिखे रहते हैं. क्या लिखे रहते हैं?
शुभ लाभ, श्री.
So the objective of business is to be. They have positive of words. So they said maximization, then maximization smacks of exploitation. So maximization in the long run, then optimization, whatever you call and justify. The objective of any business is should lav. Lav with the objective should. Should means what? Should is not good. Should means what? शुभ इज ए कल्चरल वर्ड, डिफिकल्ट टू ट्रांसलेट. आपका शुभ से बहुत कुछ हो गया. आप पढ़ाई में अच्छा करें, आपके परिवार में सब कुछ अच्छा रहे, माँ बाप भाई बहन से आपका अच्छा बना रहे, सब कुछ दिन आपका शुभ हो. सो दैट हैज ए बूटी ऑफ मीनिंग, डिफिकल्ट टू बी कैप्चर्ड इन वन वर्ड. शुभ का मतलब जो सबके लिए अच्छा, खाली आपके लिए नहीं. शुभ इज ए वर्ड दैट बेसिकली addressing the society as a whole. अपने लिटरेचर में जाए तो एक रघुवंशम में एक लाइन आती है, स्वस्तिक प्रजाभ्यः परिपालयन्ताम् न्यायेन मार्गेण महीम महिषा. It is enjoined upon the king to conduct himself in a way that justice is dispensed to the king. First, गो ब्राह्मणेभ्यः शुभमस्तु नित्यम. These are the notional words, not literally meaning the go and brahman. These are the notional words. Go refers to material prosperity, and Brahman refers to spiritual enrichment. So Go Brahmanebhya encompasses the whole society. All dimensions that are needed for a prosperous society. Go Brahmanebhya Shubhamastu Nityam. उनका कभी अशुभ ना हो, शुभ और नित्य हो. लोका समस्ता सुखिनो भवन्तु. Let everybody be happy and at peace. This is important. Therefore, the objective of business should laugh, provided we are able to appreciate the deeper meaning of these words. The meaning has been lost in the history, and only we are carrying the dead body of these words. We are writing without understanding the meaning. I think I'll leave some time for you also. So 10 minutes I'll conclude. Alright, and then I'll open for the question answer. That perhaps will be better. Fine? Because for a first semester, first week students, I don't want to bulldoze with too many ideas. Alright? So Shubhala, because you see, you question your cultural assets. Don't take it as such. Don't take it lying down. You question. भाई कोई कहा कि सर ठीक है, गर्व से कहो कि हम हिंदुस्तानी हैं. गर्व से कहो हिंदुस्तानी है तो क्या गर्व है उसको जरा बताइए. इतना तो पूछ सकते हैं ना. क्या रात चलते पाकेट मार दे रहे, वो गर्व है. चोरी मोबाइल चुरा ले रहे, क्या क्या गर्व है बताइए. We are entitled to ask these questions. If we want a better society, we are entitled to ask these questions. Alright? So, managing the future, I have talked about the management entails managing the future. Learning from the past, managing the future, right? Now management, many of the professors talk about management tactfully. You might have heard about this. Nothing wrong with that. It's all fine. Management is a very open subject. It is hybrid of so many subjects. It's an amalgam of so many subjects with a specific end. As long as the end is served, the dish is fine. Alright? So, nothing wrong with that. Management tactfully. By all means you manage. But what I look at, management, the T is very, very important. Managing is a function of time. That means, whatever style you have for management, it must be in tune with times. If something is out of tune, it will be rejected, and it will lead not only to the business consequences, but it will also lead to the societal consequences. Alright? For example, what is a limited company? Commerce वाले, BB वाले बताएं भाई. Quickly, what is a limited company? Liabilities are limited. So suppose if you incur liability more than the worth of shares that you hold, where that liability is going to sink in? It is going to sink into the society, isn't it? नहीं है भाई. सब लोग फ्री रेवड़ी बांटेंगे मान लीजिए, out of the taxpayers' coffers, taxpayers' money, so there will be no money for good things. Therefore, time is the independent variable and managing is the dependent variable. महाभारत में एक ओपनिंग सेंटेंस आता है, मैं समय हूँ. मैं समय हूँ, जो है सब समय ही है. ना हम कुछ है ना आप कुछ, समय ही है. This essence of time managers have to appreciate. Time is not dependent on it. It is an independent variable. And the styles that you innovate, that you adopt, has to cater to the requirements of time. If not, then they are bound to fail. Now, if time is flexible, future is dark or uncertain, then what you will read in this course management that will help you to manage the future? If the waters of the river are choppy and you never enter the same river twice, isn't it? That water that you entered at time T1 has flown far up, and at time T2 you are entering a different water stream. So if that is the situation and you are called upon to manage the things, what is the bedrock? Alright? What is the bedrock of management? That each and every manager of future like you have to develop in you. So I'll point out certain things. Rest I think it will be handled by your professors as you move ahead in the course. The bedrock of dynamic management is character. A manager has to be a man of character. That way anybody has to be. But the consequences for the society are very high if manager is not a man of character. Now what does it mean when I say that manager has to be a man of character? We use these words but we seldom understand deeply the meaning of these words. Then let me to save myself, let me introduce another word. A manager has to be a man of integrity. When we select the people, right, we especially talk about the integrity. Integrity must be beyond doubt. Unwavering integrity. A person of unwavering integrity. Again the question is saying, what exactly we mean by integrity? And then going down the line, there are certain values that we must keep very dearer to our chest. For example, the value of trust, the value of integrity I have talked about. Integrity is little different from honesty. Although if you look at the dictionary meaning, maybe sometimes it is mentioning that integrity is honesty, it is that, whatever. But the meaning of integrity is different from honesty. And then mutual respect. This is very important. And all religions on this earth, they advocate these values. Because you cannot achieve social peace, progress and harmony without these fundamental values. So what is the bedrock of a manager? The bedrock is managing self. Managing self entails being a man of character and gradually developing the virtues or values like trust, integrity and mutual respect. You are trustworthy when your enemies trust you more than their friends. आपको दो इंसिडेंट्स बताता हूँ. एक तो पुरानी महाभारत से बता देता हूँ. जब भीम ने कहा कि भाई अश्वत्थामा मारा गया, तो द्रोणाचार्य was on the other side, but he said that if Yudhishthir says, I believe. That is the value of trust. और अगर आप में से कुछ लोग पढ़े होंगे, हम लोग पढ़ते तो नहीं, उम्मीद कम है, लेकिन फिर भी भिन्न रुचि भी रोका हो सकता है किसी की रुचि को इसमें. तो युधिष्ठिर का रथ जो है वो धरती से 2 इंच ऊपर चलता है सत्य की ताकत से. और जैसे उन्होंने कहा कि अश्वत्थामा मारा गया, उनका रथ जो है जमीन पर. सो द epic punishes him for speaking. टेक्निकल डिबेट्स भी नो. तो ट्रस्ट का एक यार्डस्टिक है जब आपके अपोनेंट्स भी, चाहे आपके घर में हो, आपका ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में हो, आपके कलीग्स हो, निर्विवाद रूप से आपको ट्रस्ट करें कि अगर हम वो कह देंगे तो हम मान लेंगे. देन यू हैव बीन एबल टू, यू हैव बीन सक्सेसफुल इन डेवलपिंग ट्रस्ट इन योर पर्सन. दूसरा एग्जांपल आजकल का बता देता हूँ. विश्वनाथ प्रताप सिंह चीफ मिनिस्टर थे. डाकुओं ने उनके परिवारजनों को मर्डर कर दिया. उसके बाद बहुत अभियान चला यूपी पुलिस का, चंबल में डाकुओं के सरेंडर के लिए. तो बड़ा फैन फेयर था कि चीफ मिनिस्टर आएंगे, आप सरेंडर करिए. सब बैकडोर कैलकुलेशन था. तो डाकुओं ने कहा कि नहीं, हम चीफ मिनिस्टर के सामने सरेंडर नहीं करेंगे, हम जयप्रकाश नारायण के सामने सरेंडर. हु वाज जेपी? ही वाज नॉट they're not ordinary person. कोई पोर्टफोलियो नहीं था, कोई राष्ट्रपिता नहीं थे, किसी पार्टी के अध्यक्ष नहीं थे, बट इट इज द वैल्यू ऑफ ट्रस्ट. तीसरा एग्जाम्पल आपको देता हूं, अटल बिहारी वाजपेयी को भेजा यूएन में, वो रिप्रेजेंट द कंट्री बाय 2 कांग्रेस प्राइम मिनिस्टर्स, इंदिरा गांधी एज वेल एज नरसिम्हा राव. अगेन ट्रस्ट. ठीक है, तो ये बड़ा बेसिक वैल्यू है. और इंटीग्रिटी वो कहें कि जो भी रोल आप कर रहे हैं, बिकॉज वी आर डिस्चार्जिंग रोल्स ओनली. ये तो थिएटर है ना, तो शेक्सपियर को माने तो हम रोल ही तो डिस्चार्ज कर रहे हैं. उस रोल को आप 101% आत्मसात करके करें. एक सुदर्शन की कहानी है, बाबा भारती की हार की जीत. पढ़ा नहीं होगा आप लोगों ने, किसी ने नहीं पढ़ा, आपने भी नहीं पढ़ा, नहीं पढ़ा. अच्छा, हम लोग के टाइम क्लास 5 या 6 में रही होगी. इंटीग्रिटी समझना है तो उस कहानी को समझिए. उसमें क्या होता है कि एक बाबा है भारती, उनको एक ही शौक है अच्छा घोड़ा रखने का. बाकी तो साधु आदमी है, पति है, लेकिन घोड़ा इतना उमदा उनका है कि पूरे जवान में वैसा अच्छा घोड़ा नहीं. और सुबह 4 बजे उठ के उसको फेरने के लिए निकलते हैं अपना, और बहुत ही टेक्स प्राइड इन दैट. तो एक डाकू होता है, उसका नाम होता है खड़क सिंह. तो उसको लगता है कि ये साधु क्या है, घोड़ा क्या कर रहा है, हम हमारे पास रहेगा तो हम कुछ अच्छा काम इसे करेंगे, है कि नहीं. तो एक दिन वो घुड़साल में जाता है रात में 2 बजे, घोड़ा चुराने की प्लान बनाता है, लेकिन चुरा नहीं पाता. बाबा जग जाते हैं. तो फिर वो दूसरा एक काम करता है कि रास्ते पे गर्मी की दोपहरी में अपाहिज बन करके बैठ जाता है, डिसेबल्ड पर्सन. और बाबा उधर से आ रहे होते हैं, कहता है कि बाबा अपाहिज पर दया करो, हमको थोड़ा दूर वहां तक पहुंचा दो, गर्मी है, चल नहीं पा रहा. तो बाबा को दया आ गई, उन्होंने घोड़े पर बैठा दिया, उसको आगे बिठा दिया, पीछे अपने हो गए, लगाई, घोड़ा चल दिया. जैसे ही घोड़ा चला तो उसने धक्का दिया, बाबा पीछे गिर गया और बोला, बाबा मैं खड़क सिंह, घोड़ा लेके जा रहा. तो बाबा ने कहा, ठीक है घोड़ा तुम ले जाओ, लेकिन एक बात मेरी सुन लो, किसी से इस घटना का जिक्र मत कर. बोला, वो क्यों, ये तो मेरी सक्सेस स्टोरी है. तो उन्होंने कहा, जिक्र करोगे तो लोग क्या होगा कि दिव्यांगों पर विश्वास करना छोड़ देंगे. कोई भी अपाहिज, अपंग, लाचार होगा तो उस पर विश्वास, इसलिए जिक्र मत कर. चलो, बात खत्म हो गई. बाबा भी मान लिए कि डेस्टिनी थी, अब तो घोड़ा मेरा चला गया. दिक्कत तो होती है सभी को, आपकी बहुत प्रिय चीज खो जाए तो, बट ही समहाउ एडजस्टेड. लेकिन हफ्ते भर बाद देखा एक दिन तो भोर में उनका घोड़ा जो है आकर के उनको उस पर बैठा. तो बड़ा आश्चर्य हुआ, खुश भी हुए, बहुत आश्चर्य भी हुआ. फिर थोड़ी देर बाद जब दिन निकला तो खड़क सिंह भी आया. बोला, आपकी बात को मैं सोचता रहा 6 दिन मैंने आपकी बात सोचा. अंत में मैं अंदर से मजबूर हो गया कि आपकी बात इतनी सही है कि मैं न सिर्फ आपका घोड़ा लौटा रहा हूं, आइंदा ऐसी कोई हरकत नहीं करूंगा जिससे कि किसी पे इस तरह का रिफ्लेक्शन हो कि लोग उस पर ट्रस्ट करना चाहिए. बिकॉज द होल थिंग इज बेस्ड ऑन ट्रस्ट. ये पूरा जो यूनिवर्स है ना, ये ट्रस्ट पे बेस्ड, ईमान पे बेस्ड. तो ऐसा आप करेंगे तो आप अच्छा एग्जीक्यूटिव बनेंगे, डेफिनेटली अच्छा बनेंगे. तो इतने टॉक्सी टर्मी फ्यूचर में जो आपको मैनेज करना पड़ेगा, बहुत सारे प्लस माइनस, बहुत सारे इक्वेशंस, बहुत सारी डिफिकल्टीज, बहुत सारे झंझावा, चैलेंजेस बियॉन्ड योर इमेजिनेशन. चैलेंजेस एट ऑल लेवल्स. अपने से फाइट करना है, फैमिली से फाइट करना है, एक्सटेंडेड फैमिली से फाइट करना है, कंपनी से फाइट टू स्ट्रगल. तो उसमें ये 2 ही चीज मेरी है, आप रखेंगे. पहला तो कैरेक्टर, कंडक्ट एंड कैरेक्टर मस्ट बी above board, and developing these values or virtues, trust, integrity, and mutual respect. That will take you very, very far. No matter what sphere you step in, this is the guaranteed recipe for success. So I'm closing here, wishing you all the best for your semester ahead. All right. Devote time, take your teacher seriously, ask questions, and you flourish in your career and life as a good, successful executive and successful human being. So any questions, you are welcome.
Let's give a huge round of applause.
I'll be happy if you ask questions. Please sit down. और बाकी ये स्लाइड आप शेयर कर दीजिएगा इन लोगों से, काम आएगी इन लोगों के। Yes, please.
Open to all, you have a mic.
It's open house. आप जो सवाल पूछना है पूछिए। हाँ, क्वेश्चन पूछना आसान काम है, इसमें इतना सोचना क्या भाई, ये तो सबसे आसान काम है।
Sir is not asking answers now. You can ask questions.
नहीं, आंसर भी बता दीजिए। You want to share some observation, something? Welcome. देखिए, academic discussion, to be very honest with you,
Right.
मेरा इतना ही अचीवमेंट है, जो कुछ कहा ही उन्होंने तो कर्टसी अच्छा कहना ही, कोई गेस्ट आया है।
Still today
मेरा इतना ही है कि
the
आपके बाल काले हैं और मेरे जेनुइनली सफेद हैं। I spent few more years there. इस धरती पर मैं आपसे कुछ साल पहले आ गया, कुछ ज़्यादा कुकर किया होगा, आपको तो भी बहुत टाइम है। Please, answers नहीं, observations में welcome.
Anything that comes to your mind?